Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's write some more Leetcode today. Today, let's solve best sightseeing pair. More well-rested today, so this is going to be a fun one. And before we even get into this problem, this medium problem, which I feel is of reasonable difficulty for a medium problem, I want to tell you something you might not have noticed. Believe it or not, the general idea behind this problem is very similar to this problem we solved a couple days ago, find building where Alice and Bob can meet. This was a much more hard problem, but the intuition of this solution is the same intuition I'm going to be using in today's problem. And I think that's honestly the big takeaway from this problem for me. This is why it's hard to build intuition for solving Leetcode problems. That's why this stuff is hard. I can teach you how to do math and arithmetic like 1 plus 5 because that's a very straightforward thing that you can more or less memorize. Intuition is much harder. I think the best way to build it, though, of course, is to think about the process. That's why these videos, I think, are enjoyable for me to make, and I hope you find them valuable as well. So now let me go through the problem. I'll briefly go over the thought process, and then the solution is pretty easy to arrive at. So this is the input array that we're given for this example. That's all we're given, an array of positive integers. For each pair of integers, we can compute some value. We compute that value by taking the sum of the pairs, 8 plus 1 for this pair, and then subtract from it the distance between the pairs. In this case, the distance is 1. So we say 8 plus 1 minus 1, that gives us a sum of 8. And we could do this for every single pair. How would you do that? Obviously, nested loops, that's going to be n squared. It would look something like this, where maybe I start here, I keep my pointer fixed here, and then I have my other pointer just scan through the remaining array. So for every pair, I'm going to do that. I'm going to move over here, take the sum of these two, take the difference, the distance rather, so that's 2. So the sum of them is 13 minus 2, that's going to be 11. We can just keep doing that. I won't run through it. It's pretty easy to code up a solution like this. We'll get here, and then we'll start at the next position, fix the pointer there. The second one will scan through the rest, and we'll just maintain what the max happens to be. Okay, well, that's an n squared solution. How can we optimize it? Probably if we can, it's going to be a linear time solution. So now I'm thinking about that. Is there some kind of greedy approach we can take? Is there some kind of trick? Well, let's look at the intuition. Let's look at what we're doing with this problem. Ideally, to maximize the result, we want to maximize the two values. That's pretty straightforward, right? The two values, whatever they happen to be, we want to maximize them. And also, we want to minimize the distance. That's, I think, pretty straightforward. These are simple observations to arrive at. You may not have specifically taken note of them. I think deliberately paying attention to these things can help you. So this is what we're trying to do. Max the two values and minimize the distance. Think about this as we were doing the brute force solution. There's not really a magic way to just know among all of these which is the best one for this guy. What's the maximum pair we can make with this 8, in other words? We don't necessarily know, because sure, we could be going further and further away, but there might be a massive number over there, or maybe there's just a big enough number close by to maximize the pair. How can we possibly predict the future? How can we just know what is coming? Well, we can't. So we identify that. We can't know what's coming, but we can know what came before, can't we? Can we use that to our advantage? In other words, rather than fixing this pointer and saying, okay, what's the max pair beginning at this element? We can say, what's the max pair ending at this element? Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that for the first element because nothing came before it. We can't even make a pair. So let's start at the second element and say, okay, what's the max pair ending at this element? We kind of reversed our thinking. We sort of inverted the problem, which is a pretty common technique. Okay, well, for this one, it's straightforward enough. The guy that came before, 8. And what value would we be adding to 1 to compute the sum of the pair? Well, for this guy, it would be 8 minus 1. Now I'm going to move to the next position. I'm going to take my pointer and move it over here. What is the max pair ending at this element? Well, I could scan from beginning to end, but isn't there a way I can somehow maintain among everything I've seen before what would have been the best value to add to this guy? Well, Turns out I can, because we knew that this, even though it's an 8, what we really would have added to this would have been a 7. But now that we have moved one step further, if we want to take this and add it here, we have to decrement it by 1. So we maintain our current max that we have seen so far. You could call it like the prefix max or whatever. It was 7 when we first started and we were over here. Now we're going to decrement it by 1. It's now going to be 6. But at the same time, maybe this is now the current max. So while our pointer is over here, we would say, okay, take this, subtract 1 from it, it would be a 0. And so now among these two values, we want to know what is the max. Well, this would have been a 6, sorry. But now among these two, we want to know what's the max. Well, it stays as 6. So that's fine. We add a 6 to 5 over here, and that's 11. And that's just how the problem goes. So I'm just going to keep going now. Our current max was 6. I'm going to move my pointer over here now. We would have to decrement this by 1. It would be 5, or we could alternatively take this guy to be the current max. It would have been 5 minus 1. That would have been 4, so that's not the best. So we just keep 5. 5 plus 2, that's 7. And then once again, we keep going. Do we pick this to now be our current max? 2 minus 1? Nope. We can keep this, which is 5 minus 1. So now it'll be 4. Our current max is now 4. I'll try to make this a little bit cleaner. Now our pointer is over here. 4 plus 6, that's 10. And now we're done. We computed the max pair for each element ending at that particular element. And among all of those, I believe the max we found was this one when we were at 5. And this guy happened to be a 6. So 6 plus 5, I think that's 11. And that is the solution to the problem. So this is not easy. The solution, I guess, is pretty easy to code up. It's linear time. The intuition, though, is not easy to build. Just takes practice, though. So definitely don't give up if you struggled with this one. Okay, so let's code this one up, and I'm going to first have my result. I'll initialize that to be 0. That's the guy I want to return, and then I want to iterate. So I'm going to say for I in range 1 up until the length of values. Initially, when we start, we can say that our current max so far is the first element. But at the same time, we know that if we want to add the first element with the second element, the distance between those is 1. So we do have to subtract the distance from our current max. So we put a minus 1 there. Now in here, we can say result is equal to the max of the result and the current value plus the current max. And to update the current max for the next iteration of the loop, we can say, okay, either it's going to remain the same, so max of current max, but at the same time, if it's going to remain the same, the distance is clearly increasing. So as we move to the next element, the distance increased by 1, so we have to subtract 1 from the current max, or the current max could now be the current element that we're looking at. But if we were to add the current element, values at index I, to the next element, we would still have to subtract 1 from that element because of the distance. So we say values I minus 1. If the current max stays the same, you can see how on each iteration of the loop, it's going to be decremented by 1 each time. If it doesn't stay the same, then it'll be replaced by another one. Running it, you can see here that it works. It's efficient. If you found this helpful, check out leetcode.io for a lot more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.